Hey, thanks for the 36 months, Sir Octopus. I much appreciate it. Wait, I didn't want to let you off the hook here. I wanted to see what you had to say. What was your topic? He said, should I move to US for undergrad? I don't know you. This should be a permanent thing. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know what you're even, what school? What program? What's your relationship with your family? How much money do you have? Did you get a scholarship? Did you not? I have no way of telling you the answer to that question. There's so many variables. Follow your heart. My girlfriend's studying to be a teacher in America and is considering just moving to Australia when she gets her master's. Lamau, American teacher salaries are so bad, especially in Florida. Yeah, they are bad. Yeah, are Australian teacher salaries that good though? Starting salary is 70 to 80K Australian dollars to USD. So that's 45. Starting salary, Florida, that's 48. Bro, I think it's the same. I mean, I would say like if you are Australian, the salary's the same in the place you want to live. Then why wouldn't you live there? I mean, I can understand not wanting to stay. Also, I mean, just the school system's not great. I don't know. I assume Australian teachers are dealing with the same problem as American though. There was a teacher that had a cry for help. She's retiring.
One issue I really want to talk about as an educator who is leaving, what I really want to talk about is how technology is ruining education. Point is, I thought I hated technology because kids were iPad kids growing up and they just have too much access to games. Is more than that, and that technology is directly contributing to the literacy decrease we are seeing in this country right now. A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them.
The YouTube short was 10 minutes long, so we edited it down. She's a Gen Z teacher, is my understanding, maybe a young millennial. And she is teaching 10th grade, and she's quitting because she said she noticed the students becoming near impossible to teach.
Their attention spans are weaning because everything is high stimulation. They can just scroll, watch less than a minute. They can't sit still for very long. I know when I was their age, I thought movie days were a treat. I loved movie days. For them, what they mean when they say they want a movie is they want a movie on in the background for the noise while they scroll on their phones, put their headphones in, look at. Whenever I do have a movie day, I can count on one hand the amount of students in all 3 classes that I teach throughout the day who maybe actually pay attention to the movie. If I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums. I'm talking about high schoolers. I teach 10th grade now.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Yeah, 10th grader, dude. 10th graders you ask them to write one paragraph by hand and they're freaking out. I told you, 10th grader. They
get really unruly, and because I'm young too, they want to argue with me about it, and they want to say, why can't we just type?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel, by the way. It's because I'm young. You guys want to argue with me, even though I'm just trying to like help out, you know?
Type it. Why can't we just type it? Well, it's because you'll go on another website, or you'll copy it, or use AI, you'll use ChatGPT. And I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to.
I mean, in that case, they're kind of right. I mean, it's hard to blame them when they can see that happening. It's not a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not a good thing, but they're not wrong about specifically like a resume and cover letter and things like that. Like, it's tough.
To cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college. I just want you to look at the test scores and the literacy rates and the statistics from when students didn't use technology to now. There's nothing wrong with using your budget on textbooks and workbooks and paper copies of things again. There's nothing wrong with starting that in elementary schools and carrying it through. It might be a 20-year plan, doesn't matter. We've got to start reintegrating this. We've got to start getting rid of the technology and bringing back the things that worked.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with her conclusions, but I think she is experiencing a real problem. And we've talked about this a lot, but it's just, to me, it's fascinating, so I keep bringing it up because it's happening now, you know? It's happening right now. Kids are becoming so different because of AI that it's just interesting, man. And also, that was kind of a shock to me that they were giving every 10th grader an iPad to do their lessons on. I mean, that's obviously a richer school, but like, I can't imagine that helps. I graduated in 2017. We had iPads. Did you feel like they were useful? Man, I just feel like that would be just so distraction maxing. I was able to bring in my laptop for some classes and I played games on Steam the whole time caught. I guess you weren't caught. I guess you're only caught now as you admitted to us, but you weren't caught. Cool Math Games was so peak. I mean, yeah, listen, I didn't have a computer in every class. We had a stone tablet and an abacus. Sometimes I would, we would draw tic-tac-toe in the dust. No, whenever I would do any class with a computer, like we played RuneScape. That was our thing, was RuneScape. Anytime I could play RuneScape in class, I would play RuneScape all the time. I was RuneScape addicted. So I'm not saying it's particularly new, but it does feel problematic. Can you play devil's advocate and ask if they perhaps know how to teach properly in this way? Yeah, no, sure. But people think they're being the smart devil's advocate when they say that, and they're really just offering no solution. People are like, well, things have to adapt. And you're like, well, how do you adapt? And then they're like, oh, that's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? That we're seeing a huge sea change of the entire system and it's breaking everything. And so people are trying to figure out what to do. Let me just give you an example. Something like an essay. People act like the point of writing the essay was to get a good essay at the end. It's not. The essay is like the toxic waste byproduct of the factory. The essay wasn't the point. The point was the process of making it. You having to sit there and think about it and write it is what made your brain neurons work in the ability to form a coherent argument. The fact that you can make a better essay with ChatGPT is not the point. A tool that can do the essay for you, it's not like the same thing as a calculator, man. It's different. But the essay is what you're graded on? Yeah, exactly. You're getting to the heart of it. The heart of it is that the system sort of worked when you couldn't cheat on it, but now that you can, it doesn't. Just make students write it in person. Well, that's what this woman said, but also many people have said. When they try to do that, people freak out. Parents freak out and they make arguments that sound good on the face. Like, this is a tool that's going to be important. People need to be able to use it. Yeah, I don't want to get judged based on my handwriting versus my ability. All those reasons. Would making kids do presentations work? Are we going to turn every kid into a McKinsey consultant? That'd be based. Everyone's got to do a short deck. But also that does test a different thing. Like your ability to present is a different skill than your ability to, form a coherent argument. I think it's a good skill to have. Listen, a good presenter could make a bad argument sound good. Just teach classes in Minecraft. There you go. Problem solved. You're welcome. And then guy 2 seconds later said, creeper, aw man. Maybe there's something there. I do think, all right, I'm trying to salvage your stupid point, right? I'm trying to salvage your stupid point, which is that I think there's kids who have self-taught themselves really important concepts in Minecraft with things like redstone and stuff, just because they were interested. I think if you find a way to gamify it a bit or find a way to make it, there's something there. I think there's something there. It's not the craziest idea I've ever heard, but also some things just can't be that gamified. I don't know. I'm like against the idea that every single thing about learning has to be fun the whole time. It's just not gonna be. That's not what real life's like. Unless you have an amazing teacher, it can't be. No, listen, that's just in general. Like, I'm just gonna give you an example. As I'm learning basketball, some parts of it just suck. Some parts of it that I have to do, there's just no way to make it fun. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do it. Like if I'm practicing, like, yeah, but everything is practicing. You have to practice some things. Like there's a lot of evidence that shows that like some parts of rote memorization, like memorizing times tables, it's just rote memorization, but it helps. It builds the foundational structure for quick thinking that helps everything else. Yeah, and this person says, it means essays aren't a useful thing to teach. It's like wanting to teach kids how to use an abacus. And I think that is where I start to really push back. I start to really shy away. It's not that your essays are useful or valuable or anything. It's that if you can't write one, then I think you'd have a tough time forming a coherent, logical thought process. The ability to put your thoughts together in an argument that makes sense. It's not like you'll ever need to really write a lot of essays. It's more of like the ability to write one is important, or it's the best way of training your brain to do that. There could be other ways. I'm not saying end all be all. If anything, listen, I want to say like my overall thesis for not just education, but for geopolitics, America, the economy, the world, is that we are in a period of once in a generation change. We're in a period of like 100-year change. The kind of thing that only 1 in 4 generations goes through, okay? 75% of people will never experience the kind of years that we're gonna experience in the next 10, 20 years. It's massive, massive global sea change. I'm not saying, hey, the solution is to do what we were doing before, but make it stricter. I'm not. I'm just saying people that are not recognizing the problem I think, are naive. Like the way it's happening now with ChatGPT is teaching nothing. Like, the kids are learning nothing. Zero, nothing. So that's the problem. What if we made kids do video essays and then grade them based on the number of views they got? YouTuber class? Holy! Everyone has to make a video essay. That's kind of genius. Okay, what if it's a closed loop? So instead of YouTube, it's like Jefferson High School website or whatever. And it's like, you have to submit to that. Everyone in your class has to upload a video about the Peloponnesian War or something. And then whichever one gets the most views, like no one's gonna watch any of them. Gonna watch any of them. Okay, wait. Everyone in class has to upload a video on the Peloponnesian War, okay? And then there's an in-person test on the Peloponnesian War. And you have to watch these videos to study. So everyone learns about it to make their video, and the best videos get the most views because they're the best study guide. Is there something there? I mean, okay, what if you get extra credit for views? I didn't think, okay, here's what I think. It's not really the views part. It's that kids might be excited to make a video on something. And if by making it, they might learn more than if they were just sitting in front of a lecture. Can't ChatGPT make videos? I mean, maybe, I don't know. What if we just hand them a packet? They're gonna bully the low view kids. Classroom caste system based on view count. Good. Yeah, this is good. Let's get into a YouTubeocracy. I'm currently doing a video presentation and it sucks. Okay, based. It's a tough challenge. Really thinking it through, it's a tough challenge. Facts have the school employ editors so students only have to do the fun parts. Screaming at your school assigned editor to add more pop. To make it more Mr. Beast-like. World War I presentation, more Vine booms. Why the fuck are we allowing AI? Oh, bro. No, great point. They forgot to just hit the ban AI button. All the English teachers in America at the same time forgot to hit the ban AI button. Fucking idiots. Let's just, you know what we should do is ban crime. Why the fuck is murder not illegal? What if we make the kids promise not to use AI at the start of the school year? Dude, it's funny. So again, I was reading some of the comments on that TikTok today, and some other teachers were talking, and some teachers are like saying this happens over and over, is they'll have some sort of writing assignment. Kids will cheat. He will know they cheated because it's obvious they don't write like this. He'll call them out and be like, hey, you used AI, didn't you? They'll say, yeah. They'll admit it. He'll go, hey, I understand. Don't do it again. They'll go, okay. And then the next time, they'll do it again. It's like, bring back caning? Okay, you want them to start beating the kids? The kids who are bad at cheating? The kids who are good at cheating still get by, but the kids who are bad get beaten with canes? I'm not sure that's the single greatest idea I've ever heard. Earlier this semester, an NYU professor told me how he had AI-proofed his assignments. I don't know how he did it, but somehow made it so the questions aren't answerable by AI. I don't know. Only to have then the students complain the work was too hard. When he told them these were standard assignments, just worded so current AI would fail to answer them, they said he was interfering with their learning styles. A student asked for an extension on the grounds that ChatGPT was down the day the assignment was due. Another said about work on a problem set, you're asking me to go from point A to point B, why wouldn't I use a car to get there? Talking about ChatGPT, which again, from a student POV makes sense. I remember when someone would ask me to write about something and I would go to Wikipedia to learn about it. And the teacher would be like, you can't use Wikipedia. And I'd be like, come on. Come on, fucking fogey. Like, come on. That's where the knowledge is. I'm not stupid. It feels so different to me. I understand their POV. I can get it. I can be in that position. But it feels different because I feel like you just don't. I think your brain becomes real smooth. Another, when asked about their largely AI-written work, replied, everyone is doing it. These are stories from a 15-minute conversation with a single professor. Yeah, I mean, that article we read before was just one aspect of it. Every college professor in the world who's paying any serious attention at all to AI is struggling with this issue. Every single one. And then this guy had something good about the kid side of it. We're also hearing a growing sense of sadness from our students about AI use. One of my colleagues reports students being deeply conflicted about AI use, originally adopting it as an aid to studying, but persisting with a mix of justification and unease. I've become lazier. AI makes reading easier, but it slowly causes my brain to lose the ability to think critically or understand every word. I feel like I rely too much on AI and it's taking creativity away from me. Sometimes I don't even understand what the text is trying to tell me. Sometimes it's too much text in a short period of time, and sometimes I'm just not interested in the text. Yeah, it's helpful, but I'm scared that someday we'll prefer to only read AI summaries rather than our own, and we'll become very dependent on AI. Yeah, I think that's so real. But you know, it's just so funny because I legitimately think AI is one of the greatest learning tools ever invented. So it's funny that the greatest learning tool ever invented is like destroying education. I just think that's so interesting. People are not learning. But it's so good for learning. It's very ironic. You've been talking to Doug too much? No. I haven't been talking to Doug too much. I've used it, dude. I'm a lifelong learner. I've always been a reader and always been trying to learn. I learned way more after graduation than I ever learned in school because it's things you're interested in. And AI can help so much to learn. It can like instantly on the fly, but like you have to want to. Like if I want to learn something, I can have AI make me a quiz right now. Then I can do the quiz. Then I can have it grade my quiz, give me answers, give me follow-up reading. I did this recently. I wrote a bunch of thoughts I had on economics, and I was like, who are some great thinkers who have deeper thoughts along this line? And then I found I started reading more of Friedrich Hayek and stuff. It's helpful, but you have to want it. And it doesn't make it easy to want it because it does it for you. So I don't know. It says everything with confidence, even the stuff it makes up, which is frustrating. Oh yeah, for sure. It's one of the biggest weaknesses of it. I mean, I've had it make up direct quotes recently made up direct quotes, like in quotation marks. And then I ask, did they really say that? And it goes, no, no, it didn't. Apologies. I thought, it's kind of what they would have said. It's the type of thing they would have said, but that's not actually a real quote. And I'm like, well, you can't do that. And it's like, you're right, sir. You're right, my king. You're right, my liege. I would never do that again. And then he does it again. Maybe it's our turn to say, F you got mine. How old are you to turn into a boomer? Dude, I gotta say this. This is something I've noticed and I need to call out. It took boomers until they were pretty old to start shitting on millennials. Millennials are now like in their 30s, 40s and are, probably shitting on Gen Z a fair amount. Gen Z are shitting on Gen Alpha so young. And I've heard there's Gen Alpha kids talking about their like unborn Gen Betas as being too brain rotted. It's getting so fucking, people are not waiting that long to punch down. Hasn't kids these days been a thing forever? Yes, that's 100% true. I want to reiterate that you can go back to fucking Socrates saying that like the written word is going to make people lazy. Okay? But what you have to understand is that test scores are measurably dropping. Not US problem, globally. And also, like, can we just be real? Like, it doesn't take a fucking 10-year longitudinal study to tell you that, like, hey, everything being easier and on demand is making people less patient and able to do it themselves. Like that's obvious. That's an obvious conclusion. I feel like anyone who has used a measurable amount of TikTok or short form video knows in their heart of hearts that it kind of rots your brain. Like, it's not, we don't need it kind of rots your brain. It does. It makes it, specifically what it does, this is what it does. I've felt it. I felt the pull of it, is that it makes you, at any moment of boredom, want to eject. It makes you want to go to the next thing. It makes your brain incapable of sticking it through. And it's not just kids, adults, it's the same thing. It's everyone's getting hit by this.